turning 250, and it's time to rock out with our forefathers. American-made, battle-ready style for true patriots. Whether you're marching in the parade, grilling in the backyard, or raising a toast to liberty, do it in the gear that screams freedom. Celebrate 250 years of USA in style. Wear your American pride loud. Trendjackers.etsy.com. Grab yours before the fireworks. America's turning 250, and it's time to rock out with our forefathers. American-made, battle-ready style for true patriots. Whether you're marching in the parade, grilling in the backyard, or raising a toast to liberty, do it in the gear that screams freedom. Celebrate 250 years of USA in style.
From Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, this is Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com. TicketBash.com, where memories are made affordable and where you'll never pay a service fee. TicketBash.com is the best site to go to for NFL playoff tickets and Super Bowl packages. You can use the code HOLIDAY15 for a limited time for 15% off your order. Sports Bash is also presented by the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund, a group of like-minded individuals trying to raise awareness to our future generations of all possibilities of success other than just college. For more information, visit www.lookwhomadeit.org. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Sports Bash here at Governor's Comedy Club. I'm Peter Schwartz. Phone number to call is 516-465-3990. Coming up on the show, We're going to talk some hockey with Steve Mayer, the president of NHL Events and Content. We'll talk about the upcoming NHL Stadium Series game in Tampa. We'll recap what just happened with the Winter Classic in Miami with the Rangers and Panthers. We'll also talk about the NHL Draft being awarded to Buffalo, and also thinking down the road a little bit, a year from now, the NHL All-Star Game is coming to Long Island for the first time since 1983. So we'll talk to Steve about all those things and all the great things going on at the National Hockey League. We'll also have What's Hot at ticketbash.com, the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day, and we'll check out the Coaches Collectibles item of the week. We'll also tell you about some great guests that we have on upcoming shows. We have a full house in here today. It's not just me and Tony Walker, my producer, who's the host of the Knock 'em Dead comedy show from 11 to 12:30 weekdays, but we've got a cast of thousands. The big boss is here today, Tony, so we have to be on our best behavior.
I'm nervous.
I am very nervous. Vinny Tickets is here. He's watching. Leanne is here. We have a very, very special guest that I don't know if he wants to be identified, but I can tell he's a huge Mets fan, so you're already getting along with him on the program today. And by the way, we'll talk about this a little bit more on the show later on, but our great friends at the Embassy Diner have sent us lunch, and this is just like two things that he sent over. I said we have a few people here. He sent like, a Jets tailgate party assortment here today. So everyone's going to be fighting over this a little bit later on to see who's taking what home. Tony will probably take 5 things that he not. By the way, I can't stand your brother Frank.
Me neither.
Every time he leaves a box of these,
he refuses to take them.
Every Thursday, and what is he going to do? He's going to get me in trouble because inevitably I'm going to open this box up and take a cookie, and it's going to cause a lot of problems.
With who?
Well, just people.
I didn't see a thing.
All right, get these out of my face. So we got all that fun coming up on the show today. We'll get things started. There's a lot of football news to get to, and we're going to get to it in just a minute. But we'll start with the Sports Bash Flash. It's presented by the Marty Lyons Foundation, granting wishes for 43 years. For more information, visit martylyonsfoundation.org. We'll start with last night in the NBA, and the Knicks are keeping their fingers crossed. They lost to the Kings 112-101. Jalen Brunson left this game 5 minutes in when he rolled his right ankle. So we'll see if he'll be able to play tonight in Golden State. The Nets lost to the Pelicans 116-113. Hockey from the, that's too bad department. The Rangers lost their 5th in a row, beaten by the Senators 8-4 at the Garden. Also, the Devils beat the Kraken 3-2 in overtime. Tonight, as I mentioned, the Knicks visit the Warriors. The Islanders are in Edmonton to face the Oilers, and it's the college basketball Battle of Long Island. Should be a good one tonight as Stony Brook hosts Hofstra. That's what's happening. The Sports Bash Flash is presented by the Marty Lyons Foundation. And now we'll get to, the biggest news over the last 24 hours. And if you're an insomniac and you listen to sports radio overnight or you're watching ESPN all night long, you know that in the middle of the night, the news broke that the Giants were finalizing a 5-year deal with former Ravens head coach John Harbaugh to be their new head coach. And we have talked about it over the last week here on the show. And if you follow along with my Schwartz on Sports feature on our Sports Bash Media and my own personal social media channels, we talked about this for a week. That was the one and only first choice for the Giants to help them get out of this malaise. We've talked about how important it was for the Giants to bring in the right coach. Now, we also talked about how would the right coach come with Joe Shane still as the general manager, and that appears to be the case. And the Giants even teased it this morning. They posted on X a little emoji with like a winking person, because obviously the Giants are getting ready, if they haven't already, between the time I got out of my car and came here into the studio, if they haven't already, we'll check it through the course of the hour, officially announced that John Harbaugh is the Giants' new head coach. And this was the right move for the Giants. This has been a long, drawn-out problem of inconsistency, horrible management, horrible coaching, bad play on the field, and they needed somebody to bring this together. And John Harbaugh was the guy. Now, if they didn't get him, the consolation prizes weren't that bad either. Kevin Stefanski would have been a great choice, 2-time coach of the year. Mike McCarthy was kind of like a lightning rod for conversation here on this show and on other sports shows. Oh, he didn't really he won a lot of games in Dallas, but never really won in the playoffs, and he only had that one Super Bowl with Green Bay. But he's a very accomplished head coach. He might have been a good choice as well. But John Harbaugh was the guy that the Giants targeted from the start, and they got him. And here's why this was so important for the Giants. They have talent in place. They've got their quarterback in Jackson Dart. They've got some pieces. Now, granted, Malik Neighbors is going to be coming off of an injury, and we don't know yet if he'll be ready for the start of the season, but they have him as a weapon. Scadaboo got hurt, but he's still a weapon offensively in the backfield. On defense, the Giants have those pieces that we talked about all season long that just needed someone to bring this together. And John Harbaugh comes to the Giants with an 18-year resume of excellence in Baltimore. I know, only one Super Bowl, but I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of teams in the NFL that would take the 18-year run that John Harbaugh was on in Baltimore, even with the one Super Bowl, division titles, playoff appearances, trips to the AFC Championship game. The Giants would have signed on the dotted line for that the last 18 years. And I know in the middle there, the Giants had those couple of Super Bowls with Eli Manning, but 18 years of excellence by John Harbaugh with the Ravens, and now he comes here to the Giants, and he's got the built-in quarterback. He's got the pieces. He's got an ownership group that is ready to spend money and do whatever they want. And the biggest thing now is the first decision he'll have to make is putting his coaching staff together. And there's already rumors that he's going to bring his offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, with him from the Ravens. Very, very important that he is given the ability to put together the coaching staff that will help the Giants turn things around. You look at this Giants team, they only won 3 games, right? 3 games, 4 games, whatever it was, 3. This is a Giant roster. I'm telling you, like, if everything is done right, this is a Giant team that can win 7, 8, or 9 games next year. This is not a 3 or 4 win football team, and they're going to make free agent moves, and they're going to get, if they have the 5th pick in the draft, they'll get a player there. This is not a 3 or 4 win team. They shouldn't have been this year. And now they've got the Super Bowl winning head coach that is going to come in, and to me, the biggest loser out of this whole thing is Joe Schoen. Because, and you can make the argument, we've talked about it here on the show, he should never have been brought back. When they fired Brian Daboll and made Mike Kafka the interim coach the rest of the season, when that season was over, he should have been out the door because John Harbaugh is going to have the final say on the roster anyway. So why would you keep around, dead weight in the organization? Joe Schoen's going to have no teeth whatsoever when it comes to drafting, when it comes to free agents, when it comes to making trades. This is John Harbaugh's team now, man. I mean, Joe Schoen, listen, he'll run out the final year of his contract and then he'll go somewhere else. And look, remember when the Jets fired Mike Maccagnan after a draft? They let Mike Maccagnan draft players and then they got rid of him afterward. There's still plenty of time for John Harbaugh and Joe Schoen to clash. And I wouldn't be shocked if sometime before the season starts that we're looking at John Harbaugh bringing his own GM in anyway, which is probably what he wants to do and probably what he has already discussed with Giants ownership and management. This is his team now, and you are going to see a real difference in the Giants in 2026. So in the meantime, it's a day for Giant fans to be ecstatic. If you were up all night, and he interviewed for the job yesterday all day, and then came the news that he was leaving to go back home to Baltimore and he was going to meet with the Titans today. So obviously something happened between the time that he left Teterboro Airport, got on his plane, went back to Baltimore, that perhaps the Giants met his demands. Perhaps he said, you know what, I don't want to waste the Titans' time tomorrow. I want to be the next head coach of the New York Football Giants, and that is exactly what happened in the middle of the night. And we'll check during our commercial break. We'll see if Tony can take a look or someone as we go along here to see if sometime between now and 2 o'clock that the Giants make it official. But they already did the little wink-wink emoji on Twitter today, so you know at some point today the Giants are going to introduce, or at least announce, they won't have the press conference today, they will announce that John Harbaugh is going to be their new coach. And I think, too, although if you listen to WFAN or you listen to ESPN Radio, if you follow along on social media, you would think that yesterday was the end of the world for the New York Jets. And I could not disagree more. And I did a Schwartz on Sports on this morning when I talked about how great it was that the Giants were getting John Harbaugh. And this was an even better, better's a strong word. It was also a good 24 hours for the New York Jets. And I'll tell you why. Dante Moore is not going to be a good NFL quarterback. He's just not. If you watch the semifinal playoff game against Indiana, he looked like a deer caught in headlights. And you could even have questioned his long-range look as an NFL quarterback even before that. I didn't have to see anything more than the first few minutes of that game. He is not going to be a franchise quarterback. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not a football general manager, but the eye test right now, if you're telling me the Jets have the second pick in the draft and they have to take a quarterback of the future, you're telling me that the Jets are going to take Dante Moore with the second pick in the draft? I didn't want that to happen. I said just maybe draft somebody later in the round. Maybe you get Chambliss from Ole Miss because now he's going to have to go into the draft because the NCAA turned down his appeal. Or you sign another stopgap quarterback for the year, whether it's Kirk Cousins or Kyler Murray, whatever it might be, and you have 3 first-round picks next year. You know, it's not just about this year for the Jets. It's also next year, too, when they have 3 first-round picks. But here's why yesterday was great. Dante Moore is staying in college. Now, you can say he needs to stay in college because he needs more reps. You could also be funny about it and say he didn't want to go to the Jets, just like years ago Peyton Manning didn't want to go to the Jets and stayed in college for his senior year at Tennessee. I think it's more of, I don't think he was ready to play and he needed to stay. Because if he was going to be talked about in the top 5 this year, imagine what will happen now for this young man when he goes back to college, puts up big numbers again, maybe he gets more interest next year. I just was not confident at all for the Jets to sign him. And now that decision has been made for them. They're not going to be able to take him because he's going back to school. And here's why this is great for the Jets right now. They are in a great spot here. They've got 2 first-round picks. They've got their own second overall. They've also got the Colts pick at number 16. They can get a quarterback down there at number 16. I just mentioned Chambliss from Ole Miss. That's what I think they'll probably do. But now at number 2, if there's no quarterback there, are you getting value at another position with the second overall pick? I'm not so sure you are. And we'll talk more about the draft with guests as we get closer to the draft in April. My feeling now is if there's a player that becomes hot and moves up the rankings, if I'm the Jets there at number 2, I'm fielding phone calls right now. I'm sure Darren Muji has been on the phone for the last 24 hours since Dante Moore said he was going back to school. If I'm the Jets, and you could wait till draft night and see what the best offer is, but you've got to take that pick and trade it now. You've got to move down and get more draft picks. The Jets suck right now. They have holes all over that roster. You're not going to make things well with 1 second overall pick. It's just not going to happen. You need more draft capital. You need to move down, get more picks, bank more picks for next year. And if you don't get your quarterback this year, you get your quarterback next year. You can sign anybody to play for the year. You're going to only win 3 or 4 games again anyway. So why take a chance on drafting? And the Alabama quarterback is in play now too. I'm not so sure he's the right guy there. I love what I saw from Chambliss at Ole Miss in the college football playoff, and I would take a flyer at him with the number 16 pick. So I think the Jets are in a great, great position here. It's been a great 24 hours for both teams. The Giants have their head coach. The Jets now know they're not going to take a quarterback at number 2, and they have themselves set up. And here's another great thing for the Jets before we go to break. As much as it's a great day for the Giants and their fans that they've got their coach, and the Jets are going to roll it back with Aaron Glenn this year, there was something else that happened in the last 48 to 72 hours that is very important for the Jets' future. Mike Tomlin resigned as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, he cannot coach anywhere else this year without there being draft pick compensation because he's still under contract to the Steelers. He's also already indicated he might not want to coach this year anyway, so he'll get any broadcasting job he wants. Do we have it in the budget, you think, to bring Mike Tomlin here on the show?
Absolutely.
I think so, too. So maybe we can get Mike Tomlin to be a weekly guest here on the show. We'll talk to Vinny Tickets about it afterward. We'll see if we might be able to make that happen. But Mike Tomlin's going to be on one of the NFL networks doing analysis. And a year from now, he'll be recharged after his 18, 19 great seasons in Pittsburgh. And if the Jets stumble again, which I think they will, and the Jets now realize that Aaron Glenn was a big, fat, giant mistake, not New York Giant, but a Jet Giant, big, giant mistake. A year from now, the Jets could have the same kind of day that the Giants are having today. And after another 3-14 season or 2-15, the Jets decide to part ways with Aaron Glenn. And now the new head coach of the New York Jets. Please welcome to the podium, Mike Tomlin. Could even be a bigger day next year. And this is the eternal optimism I always have as a Jet fan. And it always winds up kicking me right in the balls at some point because that's just how it happens. But this is what you have to look for. This are the things you have to look forward to. Any good possibility for the Jets somewhere down the road. And maybe a year from now, that's Mike Tomlin. We'll see. We're going to talk hockey when we come back here on the show. Steve Mayer, the NHL president for special events and content. He is going to join us here on the show. Lots to talk about with him. The NHL Stadium Series game is coming up. The NHL Draft is coming to Buffalo. And next year, the NHL Draft, the NHL All-Star Game is going to be right here on Long Island. We'll talk to him about all of those things when we come back right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer. You are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage.
In 1982, the Marty Lyons Foundation began with a single heartfelt mission: to bring moments of joy and hope to critically ill children by granting wishes that make their dreams come true. Since that day, we have touched the lives of over 8,600 families, raising over $44 million to grant wishes that offer a beacon of light in their darkest times. These precious wishes cost an average of $7,100 each. And your support is crucial to our mission. Every donation, big or small, makes a difference. And with 84 cents of every dollar going directly to supporting our families, you can rest assured your support truly changes lives. The Marty Lyons Foundation operates 11 chapters in 14 states now, working tirelessly to reach as many children as we can. This dedication goes hand in hand with our commitment to transparency and accountability, earning us top ratings on Charity Navigator, Great Nonprofits, and Candid, which underscores our dedication to those we serve. The Marty Lyons Foundation grants wishes to children ages 3 to 17. And what really makes this foundation so special is our willingness to grant not only a first wish, but also consider a second wish to a child who continues to battle a life-threatening illness. We stand by these children, offering them hope and strength through the power of dreams, giving our children the courage to wish for more.
What's your purpose in life? Is your purpose in life to live in the big house and drive the nice car? No. Your purpose in this life is to make it a little bit better for those that follow and realize that we live for today to see a better tomorrow.
Visit MartyLyonsFoundation.org to learn more and get involved.
Do it again. Go ahead.
Welcome back to Sports Bash. I'm Peter Schwartz. We'll get back to your phone calls at 516-465-3990. But first, we want to welcome in our special guest here on the show today. It has been another marquee season for the NHL so far. And the one thing that I think the NHL does as well, if not better than some of the other leagues, is creating these amazing tentpole events, special events, games, and off-the-ice events. And this year has been no different. The NHL just had their Winter Classic in Miami between the Rangers and the Panthers, and there's some great stuff coming up on the horizon. The NHL Stadium Series, the draft, the All-Star Game is coming to Long Island next year, and on Zoom with us to talk about all of those things and everything exciting going on in the National Hockey League is the president of NHL Events and Content, Steve Mayer. Steve, it's Peter. How are you, sir?
Peter, how are you? Thanks for having me, and thanks for that incredible intro.
Well, that's what I like to try to do, make everybody happy and everybody welcome here on the show. And, Steve has been on one of my old podcasts when we talked about the Stadium Series coming to the Meadowlands a couple of years ago when the Islanders played the Rangers and the Devils played the Flyers. So I thank you again for coming on Sports Bash today. Before we talk about the Stadium Series game coming up, the Winter Classic in Miami was a huge topic of conversation for a lot of hockey fans. It was Rangers and Panthers, and it was the first time that the game was held in Miami. From your perspective and the league's perspective, how successful was it?
Yeah, we were thrilled. It was a real success. We went into it with a bit of risk, and weather was one of the risks. But we felt it went really well. It's interesting. We have listened to the fans, and Peter, you referred to them. Mm-hmm. The Winter Classic has to be somewhere cold. Yeah. It has to be somewhere, where it's snowing and freezing. And we don't feel that way. I mean, the beauty of it was thematically being able to sort of have fun with it. Winter comes to Florida. And we really leaned into it. You saw it in the field design. You saw it in the presentation. And what we always do is we celebrate where we are. And we happen to be in Florida where, by the way, the franchises in Florida, both the Panthers and the Lightning, have had a level of success that is incredible, especially over the last 5 to 10 years. So, we thought it went really well. And one of the things that I always love is the feedback from those who were there, whether it was the media, whether it was the players, whether it was the fans. Unanimously, we heard from everybody that, they thought it was that they thought it was great. And listen, we're just trying to put on these incredible events that also, are for hockey fans, but for sports fans. This is one of the days where I don't care if you really watch 2 hockey games a year, 1 hockey game a year, you're going to tune in to the Winter Classic. You're going to tune into the Stadium Series. These are our signature events. They get huge audiences. And Miami proved that. We had incredible ratings on TV, and what a great response both on in the venue and on social media. So we were really proud with what we did.
I love the outdoor games, Steve. We've talked about this before on and off the air. I've been to 4 of the outdoor games, 2 Winter Classics, 2 of the Stadium Series games. And when this was developed, and John Collins, who is now in part of Islanders ownership, was part of the group that designed and introduced the outdoor game, the Winter Classic in Buffalo back in 2008. I think it's the great thing. I think it's one of the great events on the sports calendar, whether it's the Winter Classic or your Stadium Series games. And I know the diehard hockey fans love it, but as you mentioned also, it's a way of getting new eyeballs on the sport. And, for people who aren't into hockey, or maybe they're just a casual fan, these outdoor games have become such spectacles and tributes to the game. And as you mentioned, tributes to the market that you're in. I just think it's been an incredible thing for the NHL to put these games on.
Well, thanks. And I agree with you. And here's the other thing. When you're in the market, whether you have a ticket to a game or not, everybody's talking about it, and there aren't a lot of events like, there are games every night in our league. And yeah, the hockey fan knows that last night the Rangers played Ottawa in Madison Square Garden. But like when you go into a restaurant and you say, "Hey, we're here for the Winter Classic," and they're like, "Oh, I heard, I can't wait."
Yeah.
It goes to all sports fans, or just people who are interested in big events, and there's a lot to be said about that. And you know, globally, it still is going strong, but where we really hit the home run is in the market that we're playing, where it really does take over. And one of the things that we try to do, no matter where we are, is to like find ways to have somebody who has a ticket or doesn't have a ticket get a touch of the Winter Classic, the Stadium Series, and outdoor game. And so we'll continue to do it. And we love these games. Our sponsors love to be a part of them. Our broadcast networks are all in. Like, that's the other thing. Like, we have camera coverage of those games equal to our Stanley Cup final. I mean, the broadcast network looks at it as their big game. I was watching just this past weekend on ABC. We had the game this past week, the Rangers and the Bruins.
By the way, I enjoyed watching that game.
Well, yeah, a little one-sided, just a little one-sided, and by the way, the Rangers were leading in that game 1-0.
Yeah, well, not at the end.
Every time they went to the studio, and PK and Mark Messier were on camera, right between them was a promo for the Stadium Series game, a game that's happening in a month. So they're all into it. So listen, these games are awesome for us, and we always have this mantra that we got to make the next one bigger and better than the last one. That's our goal, and I think we are. With each and every one of these games, showing that we're getting bigger, and the games are looking bigger, and that's something we're really proud of as well.
So let's talk about the next one. We're joined by Steve Mayer, the president of NHL Events and Content, joining us here on Sports Bash. It's the Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series game coming up between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Boston Bruins at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa on February 1st. And if you're following along on social media, people who are hockey fans, people who are not, they have seen the clips of the preparation going on at Raymond James Stadium. And this is going to be a unique situation to any other of the outdoor games that you've had, because along with the rink build is the build for that structure that's going to go over the ice to keep it cold between now, I guess, or whenever it's laid down, and February 1st. Talk about the operation of going into this game with that dual build, the structure and the ice, and how it's all coming together in Tampa.
Yeah, so this one, Peter, is so unique. So we cheated in Miami a little bit. We had a roof over the baseball stadium.
Yeah,
and between you and I, we never missed a beat. The roof's there, so we were able to build from the day we walked in till the day that we had the game. And we opened the roof for the game, and it was perfect outside, 59 degrees. It was great. So in Raymond James, which is in Tampa, we do not have a roof. So we have to build a roof. And so the way we're going to do it, to take the risk out of the equation, or some risk, I should say, is we're building a tent. And for the fans out there, just to visualize, it's going from a football field, goal line to goal line. So that's how just large this tent is. And underneath the tent, we'll build the rink. The rink goes from about the 17-yard line to the 17-yard line. Again, just to picture it in your mind. And so we'll have a group that's working underneath the tent, fully air conditioned. In fact, we're blowing really cold air inside that tent. And we'll be building the rink. So what that allows us is, obviously, if it's pouring rain or if it's 90 degrees out, we can still be building. We're going to get the rink done. It's going to be in great shape. It's going to be NHL ice. It's amazing. But we got to take the tent down, because I don't think TV likes to shoot a tent not knowing what's underneath it. So we got to take the tent down. So we're going to take the tent down. And it's a 6.5-hour process to take the tent down. Wow, okay. And I'm not kidding you. There's a group that we're working with out of Texas that's building the tent, but they have been rehearsing how to take the tent down for weeks and weeks, trying to get their speed up so that the day of, they are as efficient and on the ball as possible. because we need this thing down in the perfect timing. And what's going to end up happening is in the probably hour and a half before the game, because that's when the tent's going to be fully down, we'll be shooting the cameras will be looking at a rink for the first time ever. Like, that's the first time they'll see the rink.
Right.
We're going to be bringing in set pieces. You know how they do it, like for the Super Bowl halftime show, where everything is on wheels? We're putting everything on wheels, in-wheel roll, the entire field design. So all of this is happening the day of the game. Now, weather will be a factor. If the day of the game it's pouring down rain or the sun is beating and it's 90 degrees, we're at the mercy of what that weather will be like, and we'll have to deal with it. But we're putting a little pressure on ourselves. There is a little more risk in Tampa than there was in Miami, admittedly. And
well, sometimes you have to take risk in life, Steve. You know, you can't keep bringing the outdoor games back to the same venues. It's going to get stale, and that's why I dispute the fans who are like, "Well, you shouldn't put the game in Tampa. You should put the game in Miami." I mean, how many more times can you go to Fenway? How many more times can you go to Wrigley Field? You have to find to keep this thing going, you have to find other ways of doing these outdoor games. That's why I think this is great that you're at least giving it, all the effort in the world to make this a big hit.
Yeah, and listen, I love our fans, but I thought when we decided to do this that our fans would be like, "Whoa, that is so cool. That's amazing." I'm actually a little surprised by the reaction.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Like, we have 32 teams. We can't come back and do 15 games with the Blackhawks, 15 games with the Rangers. I know the fans in those areas, they want that, but one of the things we want to spread the wealth. And by the way, these are franchises that have earned these games. Mm-hmm. These are incredible franchises that are winning Stanley Cups, and their fan bases are crazy excited for these games. And so, for us, it's worth the risk. I mean, and it's a bit of a challenge, but I think it's amazing. And I think it shows the versatility of our events team, but our league. Look at how we've grown, and look at where we've had incredible success over the course of the last 10 to 20 years. It's in markets that nobody thought would ever see hockey. And the game, the participation has grown, the fandom has grown. And listen, I'm telling you, we're going to have 65,000 people watching a hockey game in Tampa. That is unbelievable.
It is.
I'm sorry. It's unbelievable. So, we're really excited, and, we're ready for just about anything, but, we feel like we got a little lucky in Miami. It was a cold front that came through. We're looking at the weather, but we're so far out. Anything can happen from now until February 1st, but this is going to be a good one. And then we had Tim McGraw performing.
I was going to bring that up. That's a big get for you guys, Tim McGraw there on February 1st.
We're thrilled. We're thrilled. And that's another piece that's been growing and growing. Like the artists that want to be a part of our events, that just shows also in that music community how much they value these games and how much they value the production that we put together, which we're really proud of. So all these things come together, and we got a fun theme with pirates, and we're leaning into what is a local tradition, Gasparilla, which happens to be the same weekend as our game. Right. So there's a lot of fun pieces to the Tampa game coming up, and I do think it's going to be one of our best ones we've ever done.
So when we talk about different options now for the NHL to move these outdoor games, you don't want to go back to the same places all the time. I'm going to bring up a venue, and I'm sure it's been discussed. I'm sure you've heard about it, but obviously the new Belmont Park is going up right next to UBS Arena, and I know John Collins has talked with the New York Racing Association about their interest in hosting an outdoor game. Has the new Belmont Park been discussed? Would it be a place where the NHL would want to possibly put an Islanders outdoor game?
So I'll qualify this as saying, I don't think there's a venue in the United States or Canada that we haven't either looked at, seen or has been discussed. So let's start with that. Okay.
Okay.
And then you bring up the name John Collins, who I have the utmost respect for.
Great
In fact,
man.
One of the reasons I'm actually here is because of John Collins, and for that I will be forever grateful. And I think he's one of the most innovative, greatest businessmen, certainly out of the hockey world, but in the business sports world, he's the man. And so the answer is, of course, we've talked about Belmont. We're doing obviously the All-Star game at UBS, which we're so excited about. It's a long time coming. And as you know, we stopped. And we've got some big plans that we'll be announcing within the next months about All-Star. And then, knowing, and obviously we've been to UBS a billion times, knowing what's being built and how incredible that entire area will be once Belmont is completed. It's just fantastic. Yes, we've looked and talked and are going to continue discussions about potential games there or other places. We're trying to be as innovative with these outdoor games and the future of them as possible. I think you're going to find that, it's just the way that all leagues are going when it comes to the approach of special events. And we're all leaning into, what is a little unique and what's different and what's going to attract the bigger audiences. And so Belmont, sure, as a possibility for us to explore and to look at. And we're really excited about how we're going to integrate Belmont into the All-Star game. I mean, that's probably the first step of, what we're going to do, with our Fan Fest. And
See, I got a great idea. You could have Matt Barzell and Connor McDavid have a running race around the track.
That's a skills competition.
There you go. How about that?
Or let's see, they'll train to be a jockey and we'll actually have a horse race. Or remember back in the day they used to race with camel racing?
Yes.
I've seen it all. Well, listen, we'll get creative, of course, when it comes to the All-Star game. But, listen, look at that facility and look
Beautiful.
at what they've done. It's so beautiful. And, we've been out there a few times, and I think there's going to be some really cool things that we'll do. And I'm sure that will mean a few more trips on this show, which I would really enjoy.
Well, next time you have to come in studio because we just had our good sponsor, the Embassy Diner, brought over a whole bunch of food. So anytime you want to hop on the Long Island Railroad from New York City and come out here.
Now? You're telling me I would have come today. I'm hungry. I'm going to get lunch right after this.
By the way, speaking of the All-Star game coming to Long Island, I dug this out because I wanted to show this to you. I was at the first All-Star game on Long Island, 1983. Here's my program and my ticket stub. Tony, do you have a good shot of this? You want to zoom in so Steve can see it?
Well, yeah, Steve can see it.
I can see it.
I can see it. That is incredible.
So Wayne Gretzky got the MVP in the car that night, and he scored 4 goals. I think they were all in the third period. And that ticket was my Uncle Steve's season ticket, section 322, row J, seat 1. So here's what I got to tell you now. Now I got my own family. I need 4 tickets for the All-Star game next year.
I'm writing it down. I'm going to put you in section 332, row J.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be the same seat. I don't care if I'm hanging. We're hanging from the rafters. I'm just I'm putting in the advance notice that the Schwartz family needs 4 tickets next year.
All right, I'm gonna trade you for some Empire Diner.
Embassy Diner, but yes,
we'll make sure. Embassy Diner. Oh, I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We will make sure the entire Mayer family is taken care of. Really quick, and I know we're in overtime here from what I said I was going to keep you on, but I didn't want to leave out the draft that you guys just announced is coming to Buffalo in 2026. I've been to NHL drafts before as well. They're a great event, and obviously Buffalo is as good a hockey market as you guys have among the 32 in the NHL. How excited is the league to bring the NHL draft back to Buffalo?
Yeah, so we are very excited, and we have done our combine in Buffalo for years now, and they were a group that has always wanted one ever since we did the last one, where actually Austin Matthews, it turned out, was the first pick in the amount of Maple Leaf fans that came down for that one was just absolutely incredible. Obviously, right now they're on quite the heater, playing amazing hockey, and the excitement in Buffalo is back. I unfortunately didn't have the opportunity to go up there for the announcement, but Commissioner Gary Bettman did, and they felt the energy in that city. I mean, right now, even though the Bills are on fire and now moving forward in the NFL, the Sabres have also captured that fandom, and it's just a perfect timing up there. Things are going really, really well. A new stadium next season in Buffalo. The Sabres are doing great. The Bills, I mean, it's a great place for us, a great building to work in. So we're really looking forward to it. It's once again decentralized. We learned a lot, for the fans that are listening, a lot from last year. We tried a bunch of different things. We always want to try some things with the draft. I think we're going to be a lot faster, quicker paced this year in Buffalo. And and the way, as you know, the season, we go Tampa, then we're going to the Olympics. The end of the season comes quickly, Stanley Cup playoffs, and then boom, right into draft and free agency. It goes so fast. But we got a lot of people up in Buffalo that are very much looking forward to us coming up there and doing a draft.
If I make it up there for the draft, Anchor Bar wings on me, Steve.
There you go. All
How about that?
I would love that. And again, if your family needs tickets for that one, we'll take care of them as well.
Yeah, I think we'll bank that favor for the All-Star game.
Exactly. No problem. No problem. But yeah, we've got a lot coming up, the Olympics as well. It's a really exciting time.
It is a great time to be a hockey fan, and just so many great things going on. Steve, I can't thank you enough for spending a little extra time than we expected, but I thank you so much. Happy New Year to you and your family, and hope to see you at a game really soon.
Yeah, what a real pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks so much, Steve. Steve Mayer, who is the NHL president of events and content. We thank him so much for joining us here on the show to talk about the outdoor games, the All-Star game coming to Long Island next year, and also the NHL draft is shuffling up to Buffalo in June of 2026. We have a lot more to do. Still a big segment to go. Vinny Tickets is here from ticketbash.com. If you want to get some information about Super Bowl packages, Vinny is going to join me for a few minutes. We got our other things to do as well. Coach's Collectibles item of the week, the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. Some good stuff coming up when we come back right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage.
In 1982, the Marty Lyons Foundation began with a single heartfelt mission: to bring moments of joy and hope to critically ill children by granting wishes that make their dreams come true. Since that day, we have touched the lives of over 8,600 families, raising over $44 million to grant wishes that offer a beacon of light in their darkest times. These precious wishes cost an average of $7,100 each, and your support is crucial to our mission. Every donation, big or small, makes a difference. And with 84 cents of every dollar going directly to supporting our families, you can rest assured your support truly changes lives. The Marty Lyons Foundation operates 11 chapters in 14 states now, working tirelessly to reach as many children as we can. This dedication goes hand in hand with our commitment to transparency and accountability, earning us top ratings on Charity Navigator, Great Nonprofits, and Candid, which underscores our dedication to those we serve. The Marty Lyons Foundation grants wishes to children ages 3 to 17. And what really makes this foundation so special is our willingness to grant not only a first wish, but also consider a second wish to a child who continues to battle a life-threatening illness. We stand by these children, offering them hope and strength through the power of dreams, giving our children the courage to wish for more.
What's your purpose in life? Is your purpose in life to live in the big house and drive the nice car? No. Your purpose in this life is to make it a little bit better for those that follow and realize that we live for today to see a better tomorrow.
Visit MartyWyonsFoundation.org to learn more and get involved.
Welcome back to Sports Bash. I'm Peter Schwartz. Many, many thanks to Steve Mayer from the National Hockey League. That was a great segment talking about the outdoor games, the draft, and, of course, the All-Star Game coming to, I was about to say Nassau Coliseum, the UBS Arena next year. And that's going to be a fantastic event, and can't wait to find out all the special things that are going to be going on. And you can be sure that when the NHL All-Star Game comes to UBS Arena next year, that ticketbash.com is going to be your place to go to get tickets for the skills competition, the night, all the stuff that goes on the night before, the game itself, and the big man in charge. And it seems like it's been forever since Vinny Tickets, the CEO of ticketbash.com, has been on the show. Did you know that we were getting food from Embassy Niner? Is that why you showed up today?
I had an idea. I had an inside tip. Inside tip.
So we have been, well, it's good to see you.
Yes,
I mean, you're always welcome. I mean, you're kind of the boss.
I appreciate
so you're always,
that.
I know you're busy, selling tickets to everything.
Yes.
But you can stop by once in a while, and Tony opens up the door once in a blue
I
moon.
appreciate the invite, gentlemen.
This is obviously a big time of the year for Ticket Bash because we're in the middle of the NFL playoffs, and the Super Bowl in San Francisco, Santa Clara to be exact, is coming up first week of February, and ticketbash.com is the place to go to get the Super Bowl packages. So tell everybody what they can dig their teeth into right now in terms of getting to the Super Bowl and all the packages you have.
Yeah. So traditionally, most online sites do not offer a package that's A to Z. What's really unique about our company is that we provide a concierge service. So you could take all of the parts, you could take one of them. If you just need tickets and you want to do your own flight and your own hotel, that's fine. But what makes us very unique is that we will be able to do the entire package for you, and you will definitely save money. Mm-hmm. So one thing about buying seats that I've said in the past is that 50-yard line, 7th row is 50-yard line, 7th row. So there's really not a lot of variations that go into that.
Yeah.
When you're choosing a contractor, an attorney, there's a lot of variables that go into it. With our product, the nice part about it is you have a point of contact. Most people that are going to a Super Bowl, they have it on their bucket list. It's a big event, but we could handle the entire trip for you. Everything from getting you from your house to the airport, out to San Francisco, getting you into the right hotel in Union Square. We could get you the tickets to the game. We get you the transportation to the game, the transportation
and
back.
by the way, that's the most important to me. When you're booking a Super Bowl trip, and I've been to a number of Super Bowls just like yourself, getting from where you're staying to the game is probably the most difficult part of that trip because people, and I remember people going crazy about this when the game was at MetLife Stadium, you could not drive your car there. In most of these places, there's not a whole lot of parking for the average person who just has tickets to the game. So I think that's a very critical part of your package.
Absolutely. So it's a convenience. It's always great to have somebody that you can call. After hours, our representatives have their cell phones with them. So we like to take you from your front door, bring you the whole entire experience, and drop you back at your front door. If you want to make one call and take care of the entire trip, ticketbash.com. And you can always call us. You can go online. You could call or text us at 631-250-6888. That's 631-250-6888. Your one-stop shop. All you have to do is give us a call, and we'll take care of everything else.
Who do you want in the Super Bowl?
Wow. That's an easy one. The Jets.
Well, no, let's deal in reality, not fantasy land.
Yeah, I know.
What's the best matchup for you?
For us, we always want the bigger name teams. That's always better.
The Buffalo fans are nuts. If you get Buffalo in the Super Bowl, you're going to do well with that.
Yeah, that's a good Super Bowl. And, even though they think they're New Yorkers, I would root for the Bills. I consider them.
I went to college in Buffalo, so I have some Buffalo blood in me. I want the Bills to win.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be a good trip.
You want to stick around for some of the other elements you used to be part of here on the show? You want
Sure,
to stick
let's give it a shot.
I'd like you to participate a little bit.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Because Tony gets stale every now and then, so in case you couldn't hear him mumbling, he said that's what his wife says too. So
I don't know if you were supposed to repeat that.
No. Does she watch the show?
Sure.
She did. Okay, good. Okay, well that makes several people I know who watch. Let's get to the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. It's presented by the Embassy Diner, who brought us all this great food here today, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Every customer is considered family at the Embassy Diner. Mention Sports Bash and get a free dessert with your meal. We post a new question every Tuesday and Thursday on the Sports Bash Media X/Twitter page. Now that Dante Moore is going back to Oregon, back to college, what should the Jets do with that number 2 overall pick? And I think you already heard me give my opinion on this. We have 3 choices. Take another quarterback, which would be a reach. Take the best player on the board at another position, or trade down for more picks. We'll start with you. What should the Jets do?
Wow. Give them to me again real quick.
So, take another quarterback.
Yeah.
Take the next best player on the board that the Jets would have on their draft board, or take that number 2 overall pick, trade down, and get more picks for this year's draft and then next year's draft.
Yeah, I think we've spoken about this before, and I think you always have to take the best player on the board for 2 reasons. Number one, depending on the position, but it's always nice to have that commodity.
Yeah.
Now, whether you keep him or you trade him at some point, you always want to, my opinion as a businessman, I would say to take what gives your team the most value, whether it's the value on the field or value for the ability to trade. So I'm going to go with
Take
B.
the player.
Take the player.
Tony, what are you doing?
I'm leaning towards quarterback, but I really liked what Vinny just said.
Okay, so I'm on an island by myself by trading down for more picks.
Wow.
Everybody else in the room, trade down? Trade down. We're getting some nodding of the heads. Trading down. Good.
Trade downs.
I'm not alone. Here's a segment that's named after you. It's time for What's Hot at TicketBash.com. TicketBash.com is your home for NFL playoff tickets as well as Super Bowl packages. For a limited time, you can use the code HOLIDAY15 for 15% off your order. Get the best seats at the best prices with no service fees at TicketBash.com. And I think we talked about it. It's the Super Bowl that's coming up, but also the college football playoff national championship game is coming up on Monday night. And that's obviously a big ticket because it's in Miami and it's Miami against Indiana. So Miami playing for the national championship in their own home stadium.
Yeah, a big Indiana alumni, which I don't know if it's true because I didn't. What do you use, Snopes or to check something if it's valid, right? I didn't Snope it, but from what I understand, the largest living alumni in the United States is from Indiana, which I found kind of surprising.
Really?
And again, that's not Snopified, but that is what I heard.
TicketBash.com has the best prices with no service fees at TicketBash.com. It is now time for the Coach's Collectibles Item of the Week. Check out this Joe Namath signed and framed 16 by 20 photo. We talked about this the other day as well. We asked Dom at Coach's Collectibles to give us a Joe Namath item because we introduced this on Tuesday, the day after the anniversary of the Jets Super Bowl III win in 1969. It was January 12th, 1969, that the Jets won their one and only Super Bowl. So we have this beautiful Joe Namath signed and framed 16 by 20 photo. What were your memories of Joe Namath?
Let's see, I was 2.5.
I was a year and a half old.
Yeah.
I made the joke earlier this week where it was a year and a half old Peter was running around the apartment in Forest Hills with his finger in the air like this, just like Joe Willie.
Yeah, Joe Willie, number one. There we go.
Coaches Collectibles, your number one source for 100% authentic sports memorabilia and live public autograph events. Check them out online at www.coachescollectiblesny.com and use code SPORTSBASH for free shipping on all your orders. Next week here on the show, on Tuesday, we're going to be joined by Indoor Football League Commissioner Todd Tryon. In case you didn't know, the Indoor Football League is the longest running, quote-unquote, indoor football league in the United States. The original Arena Football League lasted until 2008. The IFL picked up the ball in 2009, and they have been going strong since then. In fact, a lot of great things have been happening for them. They've got 2 great national television deals. They've got strong franchises from coast to coast, and we're going to talk to Todd Tryon, the commissioner of the IFL, on the show on Tuesday. How about this? Tuesday, January 27th, right here on the show, my guest will be David Clark, who is a Billy Joel tribute performer. He will team with Elton John tribute performer Bill Connors for the 2nd annual Piano Men Yellow Brick Joel tribute concert, Friday, January 30th at Westbury Music Fair. And we're also working on some other NFL playoff-related guests coming up over the next couple of weeks. And you got to be pumped up for the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Even though our team's not in it,
Our
it's
team
been
is
a lot
not.
of fun.
It is not.
Yeah, maybe sometime soon. Maybe this 15-year drought at some point will come to an end.
So my nephew actually is a big Steeler fan, brought him up as a Jet fan, and he actually texted me on Monday and said, "Hey, Uncle Vinny, I think I'm coming back to the green team." Imagine that.
Was he
I told
crazy?
him,
Is he
yeah,
nuts?
exactly.
Is he nuts?
Exactly.
Oh my God! I told the story, and I've told it ad nauseum on the show. My father, may rest in peace, was a diehard Giants fan. Took me to a Jet game for my first NFL game. I became a Jet fan. All these years later, I think to myself, how stupid am I?
Yeah.
I could have had 4 Super Bowls in my life because my dad was a Giant fan, but I defied him for some reason. I don't know what it was about Shea Stadium on that cold December day in 1977 that made me a Jet fan, but for whatever reason, and I've stuck with them. So.
Yeah. Well, loyal fan. The green was very enticing, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the cold and the wind at Shea Stadium maybe was the thing that did it for me. And that will do it for this edition of Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com and the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund. Many thanks to my guest Steve Mayer from the NHL. Thanks to Vinny Tickets for stopping in. Thanks to Gus and our dear friends at the Embassy Diner. We can't wait to open up those great meals that he brought over for us. And again, make sure you mention Sports Bash when you go to the Embassy Diner. Get a free dessert with your meal. Thanks to our social media coordinator, Leanne Burgess. Thanks to Tony Walker and everyone here at Governor's. Sports Bash is sponsored by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, by Coaches Collectibles, and by the Marty Lyons Foundation. For our entire crew, I'm Peter Schwartz. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you're back with us on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Tuesday.